Hello, everyone. I'm Raíssa, and I'm bringing you now a new podcast of the blog Softball Now. This Saturday morning here in Natal, the temperature is 29 degrees Celsius, but it really feels like 31 degrees Celsius. It's hot, but we have a very nice wind, so it's a beautiful Saturday morning. Good to go to the beach, good to go outside. It's what we have normally here in Natal. And today we're going to talk about this new trend in the world that is Uber. Uber is everywhere, and it really is everywhere. I was searching the internet to see some data about Uber in other countries, and when I was checking about the USA, I saw that Uber is now at 207 cities, if I'm not wrong, now about the number of cities that have this service. And of course, every time Uber comes to a city, we also have lots of controversy because taxi drivers, they feel threatened. They think Uber is a kind of piracy, it's a kind of illegal service. And I believe every time we have some changes in life, a lot of people are going to be disturbed by these changes. And of course, when it comes to money, and Uber is really changing how taxi drivers get their money. So of course, we're going to have lots of controversy. We're going to have protests, people saying that it's illegal. It's the normal process of life. It's the normal process of history evolving through the years, that when change comes, then we have controversy and we have a lot of trouble to adapt to a new life. And I believe that's the case. Everybody has to adapt to use Uber. Uber has come to stay. Uber is a reality, as I told you, all around the world, and they seem the people who represent Uber, they seem really confident about what they have to do. They seem really sure that they are doing the right thing, so they are ready, they prepare to defend their service legally, because courts all around the world have received some lawsuits against Uber. For example, here in Natal, I believe it's now 2 weeks or three weeks that Uber is here in Natal, and we have all kinds of obstacles, all kinds of barriers to this service, but they are one by one, they are destroying these barriers. For example, the mayor, before the election, the mayor said that the service was going to work here normally with no obstacles because Uber is everywhere. But after elections, it seems like the mayor has changed his mind, because he put his supervisors to fine Uber drivers. These drivers were getting passengers, and when they arrived to their destinations, there were supervisors there to write them. It's a kind of a police officer, but it's not really a police officer. We can say that here in Brazil. It's like a steward or something like that. They were there just ready in the hot spots of the city to fine Uber drivers, and the fines were not low fines. They were really high fines. And then we have justice to intervene, because yesterday a judge decided that if the mayor continues to put his supervisors to fine Uber drivers, then the city hall is going to have to pay a fine that is 50,000 reais a day for each day that this happens in Natal. So from this, you can imagine all the controversy that Uber brings, but it also brings good things, because the prices, the fare that we pay to move around the city are low or are reasonable. Because I have a friend, and she published on Facebook that she used to go to a place at night by taxi, and the cost was 40 reais, but with Uber now she's paying only 17 reais. So of course we want this kind of competition here. This is good for the economy of the city, this is good for the people, and I think it's just a sign of the times, it's just a sign of technology. We have to adapt, and taxi drivers, they have to adapt to this new reality, and Uber is everywhere. Just to point that to you, I was searching the internet about this, as I told you, about Uber, and I saw that in Portugal they had a research about that, and it's funny because they interviewed, I think, 900 people between 25 and 44 years old, and 96% of these people said that they use and they like to use new technologies and new models of business connected to this mobility, to how you move, to connected to transportation in the city. But the funny thing that I saw on this research is that 75% agreed to the statement that you can trust Uber, but they have never used the service yet. So that's funny. Even the people who haven't used Uber yet, they think the service is trustable, that you can trust the service, that the service is good, the service has good quality. And that's funny because that's the idea that Uber is like us. It's like normal people, people that are really interested in having a good service for a low price. And it's funny because we're talking about an European country. And European countries, they have very good kinds of transportation. It's not like Brazil. Brazil has lots of problems in this area. And I also saw another thing that is interesting. I also saw that now Uber has made some kind of debit card for Mexico. And the problem is that in Mexico they have the banking system is not really developed in Mexico. They have lots of trouble with bureaucracy and this kind of things. To have cards in Mexico. So Uber has decided to create its own debit card, and with this card you just have to ask for it through the internet, and you pay for it previously, of course, and then you can spend this money on Uber service, or you can spend this money on other services like buying things in a store, for example, or buying something online. So Uber is everywhere, guys, because even working as a banking system, a kind of banking system, a credit card. It's not a credit card, it's a debit card, but it's something like that. And you can see that Uber is really up to date to its market, and that's why it gets so simple and so ubiquitous very fast in the world. So in Mexico now they have this debit card. It's a MasterCard, and they can use it not only to spend their money on Uber, but also to buy things in the market. So it's Uber spreading to other areas, as you can see. It's the name that they use it is the Uber card. So here in Natal, it started with a credit card only. I believe this is the procedure in every city when they're starting to work in that city. And now they accept cash. That's a very good thing because a lot of people don't have credit cards, or they are not sure that they can insert their data in this app because they think, Brazilian people, we have this thing that we believe everybody's trying to fool us. So when you can use cash, for example, that you don't need many You don't need much information about personal information or bank information, so people feel a little bit safer than to use the credit card. So we have that in Natal. Now they accept cash. And Uber is very simple. I was watching, if you have curiosity about this, you can search YouTube about it. You can get the Uber, and then you see Uber USA, for example. You can see all the videos about it. Uber has lots of videos to explain the procedure if you want to be an Uber driver. And it's very easy because you just have an app, and then if someone calls for Uber, they contact the driver that is nearer the place, the nearest driver, and then you just tap the screen of the smartphone to get instructions, to get that place, directions to that place. And it's really, really easy for the customer and easy for the driver. And now we have lots of people, like retired people, students, who get their free time to make some extra money. So I believe it's a good idea. It's an adaptation. It's technology evolving, the technology making our lives easier, and that is the point of technology. So, of course, we have controversy, but everybody has to accept that Uber is here to stay. So Uber is everywhere. When you travel, you can get a car to go around the city at a low price, and that's very good. Okay, guys, that's it. Hope that you enjoyed all this talk about Uber. That is a new thing here in Natal. And I invite you to listen to this podcast every Saturday in English at 11:30. But if you want to listen to this podcast in Portuguese, on Friday at 7 p.m., we talk about life things, as we're talking now about Uber. And on Sunday, tomorrow at 10 a.m., we talk about soccer. Now, especially soccer, about the teams here in Natal, ABC and America, but especially about ABC because it's the one that is trying to be the champion, the national champion of the third division here. So, but we talk about soccer, and I really would like to get you as the audience of this podcast. Is okay? Have a nice weekend. Have a nice week too, and see you there. Bye-bye.